Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Call Allah Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Barakatam, to the house of David, which would consist of the hopefully elect. Alright, and as always, because the message is always to and for the elect, that's what we're fishing out for, because it was already ordained from the very beginning that they will be the only ones to get it in these last days, which we are currently living in the last times. All right, and with that being said, as we're getting closer and closer to the wire, man, because the Job 9:24 with their crafty cunningness, all right, his deceivableness, if that's the word. You see, because real quick, I'm gonna see if I can look this up real quick, because this is how these Job 9:24s. This is how they know how to get you to you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians. Just bear with me as I look for this real quick. I'm gonna get this in the book of Psalm chapter 64. Oh man, because the whole chapter is good. Psalm 64. I'll just get to the point. Verse 6, Psalm 64:6. It says, they search out iniquities. So again, how do they know? Pretty much when it comes to you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians, how can they basically figure you out from inside out? Because they search things out. They study our history. They study our characteristics. It shouldn't be no secret when it comes to these Job 9:24s, how basically they have like a database on each and every one of us, from everything that we look up on the internet, from all the videos that we like, videos that we watch, things that we search up on the internet, all that, man. They have pretty much a database on each and every one of us to pretty much give them like an idea of who we are. You see, and again, they know how they know how to get you jigs, man. You see, because again, this skillful, cunning hunter of a man, all right, that you read about in Genesis, man, he's a cunning hunter. So, hey, man, when it comes to a hunter, man, they're very patient. They're very calculative on, how they move. Just every step that they take, they're very cautious. They took all type of precautionary measures, all that, man, the whole 9 yards. All right, so because we're coming into those times where, again, as they more and more put the squeeze on everybody, the primary focus is being on you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians. Because as long as there's a so-called black, Hispanic, and Native American Indian man around, as long as there's an Israelite man around, he'll always be a threat to their NWO, their enterprise. All right. So again, the primary focus being you Israelites. So Psalm 64:6 again, they search out iniquities. They accomplish a diligent search. So you gotta pay attention to, I think they call it the adjectives, and how that the emphasis that's put on a lot of these words and phrases. All right, because it said they didn't accomplish a search they accomplished a diligent search. So again, they search things out. They study us. All right. They pretty much know everything about us, man. It says both the inward thought of every one of them and the heart is deep. So you see, because a lot of times when we well, start with the apostles and the elders, when it comes to things like the Charagma, the Revelation 13, 16, and 17, because I often say how it goes a lot deeper than just buying and selling. And when you go into that, man, it's deep. A lot of the stuff that gets brought out dealing with these Job 9 and 24s and their capabilities and what they plan to do and how they plan on doing and all these other things. It sounds like a far-fetched idea, right? But nevertheless, hey, man, like I just said here, it says, and the heart is deep. So you see, the wicked imaginations, their vain imaginations, because eventually, Yahweh Shem Shah is only going to allow them to get but so far. Eventually, he's going to, he's going to rain on their parade, all right? But nevertheless, again, when it comes to, these Job 9 24s, man, it's very sinister, it's some deep stuff, man, But basically the point in this lesson, man, because again, being that these Job 9 and 24s, they study us, they know us, all right? They know what we like, they know what we dislike, they, for the most part, know our strengths, and they know our weaknesses, all right? And what I want to touch on real quick is dealing with the weaknesses when it comes to our people, because that's what these Job 9 and 24s, that's what they're going to start more and more using against us. And this is why we're going to have a strong foundation of faith in Yahweh Shem Shai. All right, because like I've been saying lately, we're all going to be put through the wringer. All right, we're all going to be put through that fiery furnace. You see, so again, the fact being that more and more they're going to attack our so-called freedoms. All right, whatever freedoms that we got left. All right, because it just came out about how I think it's California now. They're about to implement, I believe, starting next month in November. I believe they're going to start implementing the most strictest, harshest when it comes to the mandates and the Vanessa. All right. I think they're going to have the most strictest and harshest mandates in the country. All right. Because they were talking about how basically getting into gyms, basically going anywhere, you're going to have proof of that Vanessa. All right. But you see, that's going to spread, you see, because, hey, especially Jake, man, Jake likes to go out to clubs and, do what they do. But again, these Job 9 24s, because they've searched things out, they're going to start attacking those, basically our livelihoods. And you see, because the stage is being set for all-out civil unrest here, man. Here it is, basically how, because there's been talks about how, matter of fact, let me see if I can look this up real quick. Because what I'm referring, man, it's going to affect a lot of things. It's going to be a huge domino effect. And you see a lot of those guys, those veterans, which has been coming out, the veterans, a lot of these guys that were in the military, served in America's military, man. These guys that they fought for this country, which you really fought for you were really doing the bidding of the Job 9 and 24s. But dealing with what they were talking about, because a lot of guys that were in the military, man, a lot of them are on those benefits, man, Social Security, all that, man. They were talking about how basically if you don't take that Vanessa, they're going to do away with all that Social Security program, military benefits getting cut off, food stamps, all that. If you don't take the Vanessa, they're going to cut all that off, man. And like I said, man, that's going to lead to all type of civil unrest, man. So you see, man, the stage is being set, all right? Because again, knowing that this devil, man, he's a slick SOB, all right? That's what he's going to do, man. He's going to attack your livelihood, man. And let me see if I could just look something up real quick. If not, then I'll just keep on moving. I mean, there's all type of stuff going on, man. It's just so much to keep up with. But yeah, man, I had to go through a lot of stuff to look it up, so I'm not gonna waste too much time. But yeah, like I said, a lot of these people that are so dependent upon the Job 924s for all things, right? Again, once they start attacking that livelihood and basically put people in a position to where they feel the need that they don't have a choice, but to, bow down to the beast. All right. And let me say so-called choice, because you do have a choice. All right. Whether they have a gun to your head or not, man, you have a choice. And you see the difference being that if you don't put your faith in Yahweh Shem Shai, then you're going to fold, man. Because that's what the devil does, man. He seeking like a roaring lion, roaming around like a roaring lion, seeking who he can get. And it's just a matter of time before this crouching lion, comes, he basically comes off the pit. Because like I said, like a lion, all right, or like I said earlier, dealing with a hunter, man. A hunter, a predator, man, is very calculative when it sees its prey, man, and the way it moves, and because if you study a lion, man, basically, if you see lions hunt, man, they move in a way to where basically they kind of predict the movement of the prey to where they can basically like it's closing in on the prey. You see, because again, lions, man, they're very calculative. They're very patient, skillful. Pretty much the characteristics of this cunning hunter. All right, these Job 924s, man, they setting the stage up and putting people in a position to where basically they're going to be backed in a corner like prey. All right, so I want to go over this in the book of Psalms, the 10th chapter. All right, and whatever precepts come to mind, the Spirit, is going to bring it out. But Psalm chapter 10 and verse 1, it says, "Why standest thou afar off, O Yahweh? Why hidest thyself in times of trouble?" And you see, we're coming into this time of trouble, man. Jacob's trouble. All right, Jeremiah 37, a time that has never been since the earth was created. Daniel 12:1. All right. And it's going to seem like, because like I keep saying, we're all going to be put in situations where it's going to seem like the Lord is not dealing with us. We're going to be put in situations to where it's going to seem like the Heavenly Father has given up on us, so to say, But again, that's where our spirit is going to have to kick in an overdrive, and our faith is going to have to kick in. You see, because if you've been diligent, if you've been sincere, all right, Yahweh Shem Shai, man, you got to believe this. You got to understand this, man. He's not going to just let you go out like that. He's not going to let you go down like that. It's just a matter of things, these things, because we're all going to go through our different lots. It's just going to come to a thing where our lot is going to have to be played out. Examples that I've used before, time in and time out. Some of us are going to be put in concentration camps. Some of us are going to be living in the woods, on the run, constantly looking over our shoulder 24/7. Troops surrounding our houses, our families. We're all going to have to endure whatever lot is bestowed upon us. So verse 2 says, "The wicked in his pride doeth persecute the poor. Let them be taken in the devices that they have imagined." Could you see? Like I said, Yahweh Shem Shai is eventually going to rain down on this prey. They are not going to fully establish their NWO. They are going to get to a point, all right? But like the scriptures say, when he fills his belly, then, the Lord's going to make it all come crashing down. But again, it says, "The wicked in his pride doeth persecute the poor." And who is this referring to, man? This is referring to you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians. All right? Because pretty much we're the only nation. We don't have an army. We don't have a standing army. For the most part, all these other nations, they have lands, right? They have their own little lands. They have their own military, right? You see, it's funny because, like, going back to the Tulsa, Oklahoma, all right, just real quick, when well, basically Black Wall Street, if you know about Black Wall Street, where basically you had a town, man, where they were pretty much sovereign citizens, right? They had their own hospitals, schools, so on and so forth. All right, they had all that. But the difference being, not the difference, but the only thing they didn't have was an army. And this is part of why the Joe Biden 24s were able to just go over there and bomb the place. Because you see, they didn't have their own army. So you see, again, when it comes to these things, man, you see, the nation of Israel, we're the only ones, we don't have anything, we don't have our own land, we don't have our own sovereignty, right? We don't have none of that. No military, all right? And you see, because these Job 9 and 24s, man, they create these situations, they put us in these predicaments to where we're living check to check, man. Here it is, inflation is getting crazy, all right? The cost of living is going up, you see, they're upping the rent where a lot of these jakes live to get them out, basically gentrification. You see, like I said, man, they just create these conditions to where, like the Apostle Elder Gabal always says, man, we're not living, man. We're just existing, We're surviving, This is a life. What you see around you, waking up, going to work every day, all right? Dealing with the devil every day, dealing with 2/3 every day, dealing with wicked wives and rebellious children every day. This is not life, man. You see, this has all been stirred up by the Job 9 and 24s and their philosophies, man, teaching that the woman can be equal to and above the man, so on and so forth, man. I could be sitting here much longer, just going into these things. You see, so again, they create these put us in these predicaments to where we ain't got nothing, man. We're just existing. But you see, that's how he wants it. Because with that being said, you want to get a loan, you got to go to the Job 9 and 24s. If you want anything, as it says in the cursive, in needing of one of all things, you have to go to the enemy in needing of one of all things. So verse 3, it says, "For the wicked boasteth of his heart's desire, and blesseth the covetous, whom Yahweh abhorreth." Because you see, man, like the scriptures say, the pride of these devils, they are deceived by their own pride. They think just because they have all the military technological advancements, they think just because they have all these things, they really do believe that they have they're going to establish this NWO, they're going to fight Yahweh shining angels and actually win. They actually believe these things. You see, they actually do believe that they're going to come through with their Georgia Guidestones, maintaining humanity under 500 million. They really do think they're going to accomplish all these things. But this is why the scriptures talk about how, actually I think it's in, because the scriptures talk about how the Lord, man, he's laughing. He has these people in derision. The Lord is laughing at these people. Matter of fact, when you go to Psalm chapter 2, verse 4, it says, "He that sitteth in the heavens shall laugh. The Lord shall have them in derision." So you see, the Lord really has these people believing that they're going to, follow through, come through with all these things, the NWO and all this other stuff. They really do believe this stuff. But going back to Psalm 10 and 4, the wicked through the pride of his countenance will not seek after the Most High. The Most High is not in all his thoughts. So you see, because you got to understand, man, the Lord set this devil up to be completely contrary to Yahweh Bashim Shai. Because everything that this man represents and everything that he's about is opposite of Yahweh Bashim Shai. And this is why they do away with the natural herbs and ordinances of Yahweh Bashim Shai. And what do? They bring in their medicine, their pharmakia, their sorcery, their witchcraft, their GMOs, right? Spreading all their chemicals in the air, man. You see, because everything about this man, he's a harbinger of death. Everything about him is contrary to Yahweh Bashim Shai. When Yahweh Bashim Shai is all about life. All right, that's why. What's the scripture say, man? Let me see if I can look for this real quick. You see, when you get this truth, man, that's when you really pretty much brought back to life, man. That's when you're really living, so to say, because in this world, it leads to nothing but death, destruction. That's all that this society promotes, all right? But you see, when you come into this truth is described as living waters. So I'm gonna see if I can find this real quick. Do a word search on this real quick. Okay, Saint John chapter 6. I was in Saint John 16. Saint John chapter 6 and 63 says, "It is the spirit that quickeneth, the flesh profiteth nothing. The words that I speak unto you, they are spirit and they are life." So you see, this word is what quickens us. You know, it revives us, because when we're in this world and we're following after the ways of this world. This is why, like when you read, like in Ezekiel 37, when it talks about the valley of dry bones, it's talking about Israelites just walking around here, just not knowing who they are, you know, because also tells you in the Apocrypha, any man that wanders out of the way of, roughly paraphrasing it, basically, if you don't have this wisdom, you're dead, all right? You're spiritually dead, all right? Because again, this truth, this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding is what brings you to life, all right? So, again, the ways of this world, man, it leads to death. It's a destructive lifestyle. And this is why, you know, the scriptures talk about how we're not supposed to, basically, the lovers of this world, man, if you love this world, you hate Yahweh Shem Shai. All right? But Psalm 10:4, "The wicked through the pride of his countenance will not seek after the Most High. The Most High is not in all his thoughts." So again, because, again, he's trying to do away with Yahweh Shem Shai and all the natural ordinances of Yahweh Shem Shai. All right? Because he wants to be Yahweh Shem Shai. He, like the scriptures say, he exalts himself as he's the Most High power. Right? Because, again, man, when you go through it, man, this man he really is a psychopath. He's a lunatic, man. This man is crazy. You know? The potter questioning, the clay questioning the potter. "Why'd you make me thus?" Right? Who are we to question Yahweh Shem Shai on anything, man? Just like that, we could be out of here. Just like that, man. All the Lord has to do is stink it, and, you know, we'd be done. We'd all be out of here. You see, try contending with a power like that, man. Try contending with the power that has no beginning and no end. He just is. Hence his name, Yahweh. He exists, man. So you see, these devils, man, they try to contend against that you know, the omnipotent power, man. And this is why, like I read in Psalm, the second chapter, the Lord is just laughing at these devils, because ultimately Yahweh Shem Shai, he has these devils in a trick bag. He's the one that's giving Satan orders to deceive these people into thinking all these things, man, that, you know, they're going to come to pass. They're going to get all these things, the NWO and all these other things, man. The devil's laughing at him, man. We're laughing at this devil. You see? So verse 5, it says, "His ways are always grievous. Thy judgments are far above out of his sight. As for all his enemies, he puffeth at them." Because pretty much anyone that is against their goals, their agendas, all right? And this is the narrative that they're setting up now, all right? You know, anyone, this is why they're cracking down even more on YouTube. They're banning accounts that speak against the Vanessa, all right? Because there's all type of information coming out on TikTok and all these other social media platforms. And this is why they were talking about stricter regulations on these different social media platforms, right? But more so particularly, although, you know, anyone that speaks against the Vanessa, right, and all these other things, dealing with what these Job 924s are trying to set up, they're going to label you an extremist, all right, a DT, if you know what I'm saying, if you know what I mean, right, so on and so forth. This is the narrative that's being set up. And you see, anyone that speaks against their agenda, their NWO, you're basically a threat. All right. It says his ways are always grievous. Why? Because like Isaiah 10, it tells you, woe to them that decree unrighteous decrees. You see, that's how, again, to show you the slick cunningness of this devil. All right. Because they're right now, they're not all out, putting guns to people's head for you to take the Vanessa. No, you see, a lot of things that they do indirectly. All right, well, you don't have to take it, but just know if you don't want to take it, then the example that I used with California. All right, you won't be able to go to movie theaters, you won't be able to go to the gym, right, so on and so forth. You won't be able to, partake in society. Your freedoms will be taken from you until you decide that you want to partake, until you decide you want to bite onto the beast. So that's how the devil operates. All right. That's why, hey, brothers have been saying it, man. Expect more draconian measures. All right. More unrighteous decrees, because that's how he pretty much get things done, man, by his policies. All right. Putting things up in legislation, signing certain bills off. Right? That's how this devil operates. So again, it says his ways are always grievous. Thy judgments are far above out of his sight. Because if they portrayed this country to be a God-fearing nation, if it really was a God-fearing nation, they would apply the laws, statutes of Yahweh Shem Shai throughout this land. You see, if this was really a God-fearing nation, you'd be putting all these sodomites to death. But no, because they're contrary to Yahweh Shem Shai, they promote it. And, you got to be careful even speaking on that, because if you speak against it, then, hey, you're labeled the crazy one. All right, you're labeled the extremist, man. So you see how these devils, man, they just flip everything upside down, man. And you see, this is why we're seeking to get the hell up out of here, because Yahweh Shem Shai, when he comes, he's going to flip things up right side up, man. He's going to put things back to where they're supposed to be. You see? So his ways are always grievous, man. Thy judgments are above out of his sight. As for all his enemies, he puffeth at them. You see? Because again, he's confident. He's confident in his military, his teeth. All right? He's confident in his blessing, the sword. Right? You got other Edomites. Esau, man, the house of Esau's own people is rising up against him. Because again, a lot of those guys that are in the military, a lot of those Edomites that were in the military and stuff like that, hey man, they're the ones that have been coming out, hey man, basically prepare for war. Get ready for civil war. A lot of Edomites are coming out with these videos, basically warning the powers that be, hey, get ready for war. Try to come to my house if you want to. You got Edomites showing off their safe, the vaults with all the weapons and, their stash houses and stuff like that. Because, these Edomites, they're getting ready to throw down. You see? So, hey, man, it's about to be a bloodbath out here. And that's what these Job 9:24s, these elites that be, that's what they want. Because, again, that's going to justify them bringing in the order, the martial law, so on and so forth. And you see, like I said, because the devil, he's a skillful hunter, man. All right, he's weakening. Esau is weakening his own military. Because, hey, a lot of those guys that are currently serving, man, they don't want no part in that Vanessa. You see, they're allowing all type of transformers and women into their military. You see, and hey, when it comes to real war, man, hey, a lot of those cats, they're gonna fold. You see, so hey, man, they're weakening their own military, right? This place, man, like the scripture said, this place is a breach. This is getting ready to fall, man. It's getting ready to blow over. So Psalm 10, verse 6, he hath said in his heart, I shall not be moved, for I shall never be in adversity. So, hey, these devils really think that they're going to get away with their plans, but they're already having all type of trouble as it is, man. You see, what does the scripture say? The Lord builds and he throws down. So every time these devils, they want to do something, if it's not according to the will of Yahweh Shem Shai, or if it's not according to the timeline of Yahweh Shem Shai, the Lord's going to he's going to bring it down. He's going to throw a monkey wrench. Because dealing with this new war, this NWO, man, this is something that they've been trying to do. You see, 20 years ago, man, they've been trying to, do what they're doing now. This is stuff that they've been trying to do, but this wasn't the time. You know, and it wasn't time because, according to the will of Yahweh Shem Shai, the word had to be preached up the four corners of the earth, right? The elect had to be sealed, so on and so forth. So verse 7 says, his mouth is full of cursing and deceit and fraud. Under his tongue is mischief and vanity. So you see, man, the scriptures talk about how these guys, man, these people came out of the womb. They come out of the womb speaking lies, man, speaking blasphemy. They come out of the womb because why? Again, Yahweh Shem Shai created him just to be the devil, man, just to be wicked, right? To be who he is. So they come out speaking lies. They come out speaking blasphemy. You see? But that deception, man, you see, that deception, man, and a lot of people are picking up on these Job 9:24s. They're how, because it's getting to a point where these Job 9:24s, they're getting hella sloppy. All right, they say one thing, they get caught out on it, and they try to backtrack. Oh, we didn't say this. Oh, we might have said this, but we meant this, or just like the saying goes, man, you say one lie, you have to keep telling lies to back it up. So it's just like these Job 9:24s, they're digging a deeper hole for themselves because people are picking up on it. You see, but nevertheless, because that's all he knows, deception. All right, his deception, man, his deceitful tongue. All right. Matter of fact, real quick. Because that cursing, because basically when you go into that cursing, man, Psalm 10:7 again, his mouth is full of cursing. Because you see, when you go into that cursing, man, basically, because it's the same way, it's kind of the same thing with us on the right hand when we throw curses up on our enemies. We put a curses up on Babylon the Great, and all these other things, so on and so forth, right? But that's on the right hand, because you see, we hate wickedness. So whenever we see wickedness, hey, we curse it, man. We ask basically Yahweh Shem Shai, to bring it to naught, to so on and so forth. But you see on the left hand, you see again, when because when it comes to the Job 9:24s, man, they do all type of rituals, sacrifices, all that, man, blood sacrifices, all that, throwing up all type of enchantments, and you see that's them basically doing what we do on the right hand when we throw up curses and our prayers and stuff like that. They do. That's basically what they do on the left hand. Throwing up curses, wishing harm and stuff like that. They're doing that on the left hand. You see, but the scriptures tell you that there's no enchantment that's going to be able to basically work against the children of Israel. You see. So verse 7 again, his mouth is full of cursing and deceit and fraud. Yeah, because what does the scripture say? Well, no, that's not it. But it says under his tongue is mischief and vanity. And you see, this is why, because again, a lot of people are going to fall for the okie doke. They're going to fall for the slick smoothing charmer. They're going to fall for his words. But you see, this is why the scriptures talk about how who will pity a charmer, right? Is hey, man, you can't trust a snake. You see, because the snake is going to be exactly what it is, man, a snake. So, hey, when it comes time, the snake bite your ass, man, you can't, hey, don't try to, seek any type of pity, right, from anyone, because you shouldn't have trusted the snake in the first place. So you see, oh man, I think that's Because also the scriptures tell you to never trust thine enemies. I'm going to read Psalm chapter 58, verse 4. Because this is basically going into these Job 9 and 24s. It says, Psalm 58 and 4, their poison is like the poison of a serpent. They are like the deaf adder that stoppeth her ear, which will not hearken to the voice of a charmer, which will not hearken to the voice of charmers, charming never so wisely. So you see, this is how, again, this is how he gets you, man. He sweet talks you, right? Tells you what you hear, tells you what you want to hear. You just picture it like this, man. Jake trying to get with a woman, fine ass woman. You know, he tell her anything that anything that she wants to hear, telling her everything that she wants to hear, just to get her in bed. You know, I'm gonna marry you, I'm gonna cuff you up. You know, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, and all he wants is a one night stand. Meanwhile, she's, you know, falling for it. You know, oh, he's gonna make me a wife. He said we're gonna have children. He said he's gonna buy me all these nice things, right? You know, and like I said, just comes to find out he just wanted a nice thing. He got what he wanted, and he kicked her to the curb. You see, that's these Job 9 and 24s for you, man. They're gonna tell you what you want to hear, butter you up, all right? And then when it comes down to it, man, they're gonna kick you to the curb, because you gotta understand, if they don't care about their own people, how much more everyone else, especially you Israelites? You see? So you can't trust these people, man. No matter, you know, with all their charming ever so wisely and all their enchantments, right? You know, you can't trust these people. But you see, it's going to get to a point where, because it tells you in Isaiah 25 how that veil is being lifted. Like I said, people are starting to catch game. They're starting to see, you know, this devil for what he is. And that's how we know we're close to his downfall, because he's being exposed. This is another reason why they're about to do it with this internet stuff. They're being exposed. You know, Esau's skirt is being lifted. So back in Psalm chapter 10, verse 8, he sitteth in the lurking places of the villages. In the secret places doeth he murder the innocent. His eyes are privately set against the poor. So again, going back to the poor, talk about your Israelites, because the primary focus is your Israelites. All right, sitting in the lurking places of the villages, man. You see, because like I said, going back to the predator, man, a lion, man, it crouches down, and it's just when it locks eyes on the prey, man, it's just sitting there. It's just calculating its moves, what it's going to do next. You know, how it's going to maneuver, right? It's just sitting there. It's just crouched down, and it's just sitting there, just waiting for the perfect time to strike. That's how these Job 9 and 24s are. It says, he lieth in wait secretly as a lion in his den. He lieth in wait to catch the poor. He doeth catch the poor when he draweth him into his net. So you see, man, that's what it's about. Getting you Jakes caught up in his web of things. It's on the back of the dollar bill. You know, you see the net. Kind of looks like a spider web, so to say, on the back of the dollar bill, man. You see, you know, get you all trapped up. You know, that's how these Job 924s get you, man. Get you all trapped up. Because he's also known as a fowler. A fowler being someone that catches birds. And the snares being set. You see, they got you Jakes all buttered up, giving you all these benefits, right? But you see, in order to continue to get these benefits, you got a lot of Jakes, man. They're living in these communities. They ain't paying rent, living off the food stamps and all these other programs. But you see, what are you going to do when these Job 9 and 24 say that when they cut them off and then tell you in order to continue to get these benefits, you have to bow down to the beast? What are you going to do then? So you see, they got you all trapped up in their web, right? It says, verse 10, he croucheth and humbleth himself that the poor may fall by his strong ones. Yeah, because these Job 924s, they even use other Israelites, other Jakes, like these LeBron James, Denzel Washingtons, right? These Al Sharptons, right? You know, use them to get you trapped up. Because these higher elites, they tell these lower elites, you know, because these celebrities, man, they're on a low level, right? You think these jakes that have made it so-called celebrities or whatnot, man, that they're wealthy and all, man, they're man, like the guy said, man, they broke too. The only difference between us and them is their bills are much higher. Their paychecks are higher. They're broke too. They're lower Luciferians, man. They're on a low level. But you see these higher elites, the ones that are really wealthy, right? The ones that are really blessed, because you're not blessed. Hey man, if you're not blessed, you're not truly blessed. You got Jake talking about I'm blessed. You're not truly blessed if you don't got slaves. And they said we're all under servitude to these Job 9 and 24. So they're the real blessed ones. The powers that be. You see, they tell these lower Luciferians, basically promising them a safe passage when all hell breaks loose, when they can't even say themselves. You see? But nevertheless, again, you know, you fell for the charmer, charming ever so wisely. You fell for his smooth words. But verse 10 again, he croucheth and humbleth himself that the poor may fall by his strong ones. Yeah, because, you know, it's just spiritual, because brothers have suspected that this guy, Joe Biden, could be Antiochus Epiphanes in the reincarnation, because when you read the account of Antiochus Epiphanes, man, hey, you know, he came with peaceable words. Peaceable words did he speak unto Israel, right? Jake fell for it, and then what happened? You just go through the history, man. Jake caught hell, all right? You know, Antiochus Epiphanes put all type of hell on the children of Israel. And it's the same thing with this guy, man. Nobody's telling you all these things, telling people what they want to hear, right? And then, hey, like I said, when that lion comes from that crouching stance and it attacks, you know, you can't say you weren't told, man. So verse 11, he hath said in his heart, the Most High hath forgotten. He hideth his face, he will never see it. Because pretty much, man, the Lord ain't forget, right? He's just giving these devils, because the scriptures talk about the times of the Gentiles, until the times of the Gentiles be fulfilled. He's just allowing things to play out, allowing these heathens to, you know, fulfill their lot, until the time is going to come where, hey, that's it. Because the scriptures also tells you in Job how once they get to that point, that boundary, all right, they're not going a millisecond over that boundary, all right? So once they come to the fulfillment, then that's it. They're not going a second past it. It says, because these devils really do think that they're getting away scot-free, when all type of information has been coming out, like you just had where, look at this real quick. I got a video queued up that I haven't looked into yet. Because the scriptures talk about the shameful spewing. You see, all this information has been coming up about these Job 9 and 24s, man. Like I got this video here, it says 330,000 children were sexually abused within French Catholic Church. See, it's no secret, man. It's no secret that they're over there in that setting, all right, that environment. Just trying to keep it PG as I can. In that religion, so to say, it's no secret that, man, they touch little boys. And see, this 330K, I mean, that's not even scratching the surface compared to, you know, that's nothing. You see, but that's just a part of his shameful spewing. And you see, they think that they're not going to have to pay for these crimes. They think that they're not going to have to pay for their wickedness. But the Lord ain't forget, like when you read Revelation 18. Her sins have reached unto the heavens, roughly paraphrasing it. You see, they got so much iniquity stacked upon them, and the Lord is allowing them to stack up on their iniquities, sin upon sin, so that he can justify the destruction, all right, when he brings it. You see, their judgment is going to be justified. Because, hey, when he goes out, man, he's going out bad. All right? But Psalm 10 and 12. Arise, O Yahweh, O power, lift up thine hand. Forget not the humble. Talking about, again, the meek, the elect, all right? Because we're just sitting back patiently waiting for the Lord to show out, man. You see, we're putting our trust in Yahweh Shem Shai that, he's not going to let this devil overcome us, nor overtake us. Like the scriptures say, the gates of hell shall not prevail. You see? Because again, it's going to get to a point where, like I said, all the charming shit, the sweet talk, all it's not going to work no more. And eventually, the devil's just going to show his true colors. He's just going to come out full force with it. All right? You see? And we're just hoping that, we're preserved, man, during that time. So Psalm 10 and 13, wherefore doeth the wicked contend the Most High? He hath said in his heart that will not require it. Because like I said earlier, the type of power that we serve, man, you try to contend with that, man. It's like, what's wrong with you? A power that has no end, no beginning. Like, come on, man. What just, you just try to picture that, man. But again, just to show you how delusional these people are, they really do think that they have a fighting chance. Because you see, I'm going to tell you, man, these devils, they're hella confident because part of the reason they're so powerful is because they were able to put hands on Yahweh Shai over 2,000 years ago. And look at the state of the nation of Israel today. All right. Like I said, we're all under subjection to these Job 9:24s. So they were able to not only touch the Israelites, all right, get a stronghold on us, but they were able to touch our Lord. So you could just imagine, in just that alone, the fact that they were able to put hands on Yahweh Shai, put him to death, right? You could just imagine the prideness, because those Edomites back then, they're back today. Those Edomites that put hands on the Lord and sanctioned them to be put to death, they're back today. So you could just imagine the pride, how much pride these devils are filled up with. The fact that they were able to put hands on our Lord. But you see, again, it was all set up in the beginning because Yahweh Shai had to be crucified in order for us to get, the kingdom. So it had to play out like that. Because you see, if Esau knew back then the significance of Yahweh Shai dying for the nation of Israel, if they knew the significance of that, if they knew what that meant, they wouldn't have put him to death. And this is why Yahweh Shai, when he told them, man, basically he was rushing them, man. He basically told them, hey, man, y'all hurry up and do what y'all got to do. Because, Yahweh Shai knew, he understood. But you see, if Esau knew anything about prophecy, man, they would have never put Yahweh Shai to death. They would have never put him to death. But you see, they're fools, man. So Psalm 10 and 14, thou hast seen it, for thou beholdest mischief and spite. To requite it with thine hand, the poor committeth himself unto thee. Thou art the helper of the fatherless. Break thou the arm of the wicked and the evil man. Seek out the wickedness till thou find none. Yahweh is king forever and ever. The heathen are perished out of his land. Yahweh hath heard the desire of the humble. Thou wilt prepare their heart, thou wilt cause thine ear to hear, to judge the fatherless and the oppressed, that the man of the earth may no more oppressed. And you see, the whole point of, again, reading this chapter is going into this oppression, feeding off of the needs and the wants of the fatherless, the widows, those that are in need, all right, those that genuinely need help, which again consists mostly of you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians, because we don't got shit. All right, but nevertheless, like I said, the point I wanted to make was, again, these Job 9:24s, all right, the ways are always grievous, man. We're getting taxed to death on all sides, right? Taxed to death, man, on all sides, man. We get bills after bills. It's just a constant oppression. You see, this is how the devil operates, man. He's going to oppress us more, right? He's going to attack our livelihood in order for us to comply and get down with this beast. That's what's getting ready to happen. More and more, as brother said it, more and more. They're going to put the squeeze on you Jakes, because, again, you're the primary targets. All right? They're going to come after us more and more, man. So, don't expect this devil to play fair, man. When have you ever known the enemy to play fair? This devil's not going to play fair, man. Now they were actually talking about dealing with children, because, a lot of Jakes, man, they of course we love our children and whatnot. Those of us that have children, Because, hey, like I said, don't expect this devil to fight fair. They're setting it up in the school systems, right? Well, I'm not even going to speak on that, man, because I really don't want them. But basically, they're coming after their children, all right? And this, you got to be careful because around this time, September, October-ish, this is when they do a lot of sacrifice and rituals, blood rituals. We got Halloween coming up, So, I mean, it's just, it's no coincidence that now they've been coming for the children. Ever since September, I would say late August, September, October, they've been talking about, getting the FDA to approve the Vanessa for children, for kids, right? So they're coming after the children. And you see Jake, man, hey, because Jake, especially women, they worship their children. You see? So you just see the narrative of how these Job 9 and 24s, man, they're going to plague on your weakness. They're going to attack your weakness. Because, again, that's just the devil. He does not play fair. But this is why, like I read, man, the Yahushua, he's going to deliver us somehow, some way. All right, we're going to be all right. We're going to be protected. We're going to be preserved. But, yeah, man, this is what you can expect, man. The devil, hey, he's not going to play fair. A lot of people are about to find out the hard way why you shouldn't have put your trust in this snake, this charming ever so wisely, right? Because, hey, this lion, man, he's crouching, but hey, he's about to attack, man. You see, so hopefully this was edifying, giving all praises to Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai, double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai Barakatham, to the hopeful elect. Lord's will, until next time, Shalom.